Welcome to Voices for Impact, the podcast. Started during the COVID-19 pandemic and made in Syracuse, Voices for Impact is full of conversations with thought leaders from around the world that have made significant accomplishments in their lives and have gone through their own challenges, but have made it through those adversities and made positive impacts through their work. I'm your host, Danielle Mensing, and as a fundraiser for a nonprofit, I believe the most valuable tool you can give yourself is making a positive impact on others and your community. Every conversation is going to give you tools and tactics from entrepreneurs, athletes, artists, and change makers that will encourage you to develop a growth mindset and reimagine how you can find your purpose. Now let's get started. This episode is sponsored by Always Chasing Better Coaching, which is for women who know that living their best life would have a tremendous impact on their work, relationships, and day-to-day life, and they are ready to go get it. As an Always Chasing Better Coaching client, you won't just dream about your best life, you'll create it. Reach out to Michelle Horton at Always Chasing Better Coaching today. Voices for Impact friends and listeners receive 50% off the Becoming the Best Version of Yourself online workshop. Go to Voices for Impact Instagram and Facebook for more information. Welcome to another episode of Voices for Impact. My name is Danielle Mensing, founder of Voices for Impact, and today I am chatting with Shelly Terzolo. Shelly is a financial advisor and owner of the Terzolo Financial Group located in Camillus, New York. Their firm has been in business since 1996. Her partner and husband, Ed Terzolo, is an accountant and started their business at the kitchen table to provide accounting and tax services to individuals and small businesses in the central New York area. Ed quickly grew the business, adding employees, and eventually in 2001, he added the financial services offerings to their clients, and that is when Shelly joined the practice. Her mission is to help clients to understand their financial situation, to sort out the areas which need attention, and to offer solutions to assist in reaching their goals. So thank you so much for having a conversation with me today, Shelly.
Thank you. Nice to see you, Danielle. How are you today?
Nice to see you as well. I'm great. So great
Thank
now
you.
that I'm talking with you.
Ah.
So tell me, what do you love most about what you do?
Um, what I think I love most is hearing people's stories, listening to what their concerns are, listening to their worries and their goals, their dreams, and then applying the knowledge that I have to their situations and trying to figure it out. It's like putting a puzzle together. Um, you give me the box with all the pieces, and I lay it out, and I try to figure out what I see and where I see areas that we could help.
I love that. Now, what drives you?
I think it's just my desire to help. When we were younger and our children were younger, we went to a financial advisor, and our advice was to have $100,000 per child in order for them to go to college. And it terrified us because it was just an impossible number for us to reach. So we did nothing. And so um, I figured that that's not the advisor that I will be. I want to sit down and hear the stories, hear what's going on. Because if he had told us that we needed $25 to start, $25 per month per kid, we could have done that, and we could have reached a goal of some sort or another. But instead, it just paralyzed us. I'm not in the job, and I'm not in the business of paralyzing people. I'm in the power of it. I'm in the business to empower people, and that's what I want to do, and that's what drives me.
I love that. I love it. I think it is so important to hear your clients' stories. I think for any business that's offering a service, especially as important as financial services,
Hmm.
to get the big picture of what are people's goals and what motivates that, what's behind that, and the reasoning. And I think that is true when you're saving, when you're trying to reach a savings goal, um, and it's so large, you really have to start out by explaining it in small pieces in order.
That's right.
Uh,
And then I think that we're empowered. If we understand what we're doing, then we're going to want to do more of it. We understand it. It's not something that we're afraid of or that we repel, but we want to embrace. And that's a totally different approach, I think.
Yeah. Well, that's so nice that you have that mentality and that philosophy in your business. What was it like for Ed and yourself, to start this business out? What Can you kind of take me back to the beginning of even before you were a financial advisor and how you got to where you are now?
Oh, sure. For Ed, it was a decision that he had always wanted to do, is to have his own business. And I was working outside of this realm, and but my job was very demanding. And we had four boys, and they needed their mom. And I was at work all the time. And we were on vacation, and my husband said, why don't you join me? And I thought all I could think of was sitting and doing my math homework with my dad and having him hit my hand when oh, no, that's not how you add those two numbers together. And I thought, so I said, I love being married to you. I don't think I want to work for you. And he said, no, 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 be a financial advisor. And he told me what it was all about. So I went back to work. We were on vacation. I went back to work and I thought, uh, I'll find something else to do. And the more I thought about it, I thought, well, why not join him? Why not build our practice? And I told a friend I felt like I was walking into a very dark room with no idea where the light switch was. I had no idea what I was doing. The phrase IRA was confusing to me, and it was foreign.
Mhm.
Um, so I had a lot to learn, and I guess we have some sort of stick to itiveness, and we just kept going, and took some detours along the way, but here we are.
Yeah, here we are. Oh my gosh. Um, so tell me a little bit about and you mentioned this one, the learning curve of just immersing yourself in the financial services industry and learning an IRA and all of these terminologies. But what is one challenge you've overcome, personally or professionally, and how did you get through that adversity?
I think the biggest challenge was that I was always working in an interior office for the companies that I was with. I never had an outreach profession. I never went out to um, people outside of our business to talk to them about what we were doing. It was always within the interior. And that took a lot of, it was changing my mindset. It was changing my way of thinking so that I could figure out how to actually approach someone and not be salesy, but be relational. And that, I think, is what people need. It's what I need. I don't want somebody selling me something. I need a relationship with somebody that I choose to do business with, who cares enough to hear what I have to say, who wants to know my stories and who wants to know what's going on, um, to be able to feel like I can trust them with that information and that they're going to use it in the best for me. And that's what I try to do for my clients. And so that's where I had to overcome, is how to work so interiorly and go exterior instead.
And I think those are some great points that you mentioned. I resonate with that so much as well. As a fundraiser, is really developing genuine relationships with people.
Exactly.
And I think that just comes off of if that's just ingrained in you as a person, if you're a genuine person, as opposed to let me go let me try the sales approach. But yeah, it's so true. At the end of the day, people want to feel like they can trust you and that you're a genuine person. You're really there to assist them in the needs that
Correct.
they have. So very good points, that trust and building that genuine relationship with people.
Correct. I think that's important. It's just like any professional that we go to, whether it's a doctor or a dentist or anybody. If we feel that they don't care whether or not we're there, we might not return. We might not get back there. And if we do, then it's on us
Mm.
to choose to continue working with that person. So we have choices in our world, which is lovely, but we have to choose appropriate, right?
Right. So right. What is one skill or a characteristic about you that you think has allowed you to reach your goals and dreams in life?
I think it's just okay. So I think that I have a strong work ethic, and I think that that came from that dad that used to sit there with my math homework. Um, he's my hero, of course, and then my husband is my hero. Watching him, what he's done, um, and I just do it. I get charged up doing it. I get charged up meeting my clients, and I give myself goals. I compete against me,
Mhm.
and so if this was my goal last month, this is my goal this month, and I put it out there for me, and I work really hard to get there.
That's real some really good advice additionally, Shelly. I mean, for people that are listening that might be starting their own business or
Hmm.
in a business currently, um,
Hmm.
it's very easy to think of others as competition and not set yourself up as your own competition and what how am
Right?
I going to motivate myself to be the better version of myself, and
Correct.
in addition to that work ethic that you were talking about earlier is too
And
many.
I also have a great team.
Yeah.
We have a great team of people that work with us, and they have the same philosophy of help. They want to help our clients, and we help one another, and it's a nice place to come to work. We love working here. We love being a part of it, and I think our staff does too. And I know that they enrich us, and they enrich our clients. They enrich the whole thing, and having good people around you is really important too.
It's very true. What are some webinars or events that you guys have coming up that you'd like to share with those watching right now?
Oh yeah, well we're putting on Zoominars. Starting at the beginning of the year, we have a series of we want to do them weekly, where they are a series of topics, just very basic, elementary topics of getting to know some of the things that they just don't teach us. Right? What is an IRA? How do I buy a house? How do I buy a car? How do I downsize if I need to? How do I buy insurance? What's the right amount? How do I, what about taxes? How do I save on taxes? And we're just going to take little snippets and do it in the COVID world that we're in, doing it remotely via Zoom, and hopefully answering some questions that people might have and encouraging them to feel empowered to be able to make decisions to move forward in their financial lives.
And how can people reach out to you to see these Zoominars and or
Mhm.
reach out to you if they have other questions?
Sure. Our website has we'll have all of the calendar of events, and we also have an online calendar on our website, which allows people to go in and select a date and time that they'd like to set up a meeting with us. We also have the Zoom, sorry about that. We also have the ability for Zoom conferences if people are uncomfortable to come in to our offices or too busy. And we are happy to meet them remotely and do what we do. Everything can be done via Zoom. I think that if folks are thinking about going out there and going into that dark room and not knowing where the light switch is, do it. Do it. Put your head together. Do it. Seek the counsel of people that you will trust to give you answers that you need to hear. Be open to hear them. I had mentors along the way. I've had a lot of people that have helped me to grow and to learn. I still have a coach. I have a business coach that I coach with every other week um, in one side of my business, and I have another coach on the other side of my business. It's always self-improvement. And if you have the desire, you've got to take that chance. There's why not? Why not? I had four boys at home, and we took that chance.
It's been a journey, right, Shelly?
It's
And
been a journey, yes, for sure. And looking back, I'm glad we did it when we were in it. Never thought it would end.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Boys, I can't even imagine. Boys are crazy, but they're now
boys are
full
crazy.
grown
Yes,
men with wives
they
thriving.
are.
Look where you
And
are now. It's just probably amazing to look back on all of the journey that you've come to up to this point, and you're still thriving.
I know I made the right choice because I chose my family. And I knew I made the right choice because they are magnificent men. They are very beautiful people. They have beautiful families, and I made the right decision. Yep.
So good to hear. Now, my last question is, how do you define success?
Success is finding that place where you're content in your life, where because the world is showing us all these things that we're supposed to be, but it doesn't mean that that's who we are supposed to be. Success is our definition. We have to define it. And if we reach those goals, then we've reached that success. Put those things out there. Put out the material things if it's that. Um, it'll happen. We could go on stories for that. But you have to interiorly know that you're reaching people the way that you're expecting to. You're doing what your heart is telling you to do, and you're doing it well. And that, I think, that defines the success that's going to give you gratification. Otherwise, I think you'll never be fulfilled.
That's so true. That's some really powerful advice, Shelly. Thank you so much for saying those wise words of advice for sure.
Sure.
Um,
It's hard. It's hard when you're in the middle of it all. It's hard, but that's okay. Nobody said it was going to be easy. Just keep going. And just keep swimming, Dory.
that's so true. Just keep going. Just keep swimming. That's so great. Thank you so much, Shelly, for giving us some insight into what your story is and what you
You're welcome.
do and some advice. And thank you so much to our viewers who are watching. Voices for Impact is on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and podcast platforms. So please follow, subscribe, and like to stay connected. And I'll see you next time on Voices for Impact. Thank you, Shelly.
Thank you.
This episode is sponsored by Always Chasing Better Coaching, which is for women who know that living their best life would have a tremendous impact on their work, relationships, and day-to-day life, and they are ready to go get it. As an Always Chasing Better Coaching client, you won't just dream about your best life, you'll create it. Reach out to Michelle Horton at Always Chasing Better Coaching today. Voices for Impact friends and listeners receive 50% off the Becoming the Best Version of Yourself online workshop. Go to Voices for Impact Instagram and Facebook for more information.